Welcome back to One on One with Mr. U. Of course, I am your host, Mr. U. In studio with us, good buddy of mine who is the brains behind wipeeverytear.org. Kenny Sacht is in the house today, man. Kenny, how are you, brother? Good to have you here, man.
Man, it's good to be here with you, Yusef. I'm excited about today.
Yeah, man. Our pre-interview conversation was astounding, to say the least. So there's a lot we want to get into within this 30 minutes or so time frame. So let's get into it, man. But customarily, I always ask about our guests the first question. Tell me about Kenny's childhood and your upbringing. What was life like for young Kenny? How'd you get from there to here? Tell us about that.
Well, I grew up in a very wild home, lots
Wow.
of drinking, partying, and everything. And I went off. I'm speeding up here from little kid to college. I went to college, and I had a radical encounter with the living God. And Jesus transformed me. It was the Jesus revolution. It was the hippie days, I walked into a auditorium on accident with two other girls and a guy, and there was a crazy guy on a piano. His name was Keith Green. He was one of the early Christian artists, going up and down I-5, and just a long-haired floppy guy, and he's banging on the piano and da, 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 da. He started preaching the gospel, and I'm telling you, the gospel is powerful. And that evening, I went from there to there and was radically saved. And I've never been the same, and then I went off. So I'm in college, I graduate, I taught a year. You're getting the quick version here, but I went off to seminary. I was married, and then went off to seminary and did graduate studies at Western Seminary in Portland, Oregon.
Okay.
And then I pastored for a while, and then I taught Christian school for a very long time, and coached basketball and track and field. And we took a team to the Philippines. I saw the sex trade, and my heart was broken, brother. And then that leads us kind of very quickly to where we are today.
No, definitely. I loved everything I heard. I think the listeners and viewers are going to be astounded by the story. And I think hopefully their mindset will be changed, because a lot of people out here, and no offense intended at all, Kenny, when I say this, a lot of people out here, they kind of just live in their life and they run into opportunities like that. And they don't even think about it. It's not on their radar. They kind of pass it by on the 24-hour news cycle, don't even think anything about it. And then they run into it on the way to doing their regular life stuff. They run into situations like this, and it changes them forever. It's like a hard stop, like a detour that I think all of us could stand to use when we get caught up in our own stuff. So I love your story, man. Thanks for being transparent, as you have been, and how you're going to be as this episode progresses, man. But tell me your initial thoughts when you had the epiphany, if you want to call it that. What were your first thoughts? I was just wondering, in our pre-interview chat, were you afraid? Were you in denial? Did you feel like, I just don't feel like I have the ability to get involved in this. I don't have the capacity to handle what this could potentially bring to my life. What were your initial thoughts when you got the epiphany? You know what? I need to help in the way that I'm deciding to help.
I saw it up close and personal. I'd seen it online, and I mean, it was enough to make me cry. It was enough to where I looked down at my keyboard and I had tears on my keyboard.
Wow.
Literal tears. In fact, that's when I said, God, I'll do anything to set a girl free. And I hadn't even been to, the sex tourism areas, When I saw it, it was mostly just emotions of distraught emotions. Like, how can this be? How can this be? I saw it in 2011. And it's those feelings of, my 5 daughters. Like, what if this were my 5 daughters?
Yeah.
I mean, what if this were my girls, my flesh and blood? And, I had told you earlier in our pre-conversation that I'd been asking God for decades just simple little prayer. God, break my heart with the things that break yours. Well, my heart was very broken. I mean, it was painfully broken. It hurt. In fact, I had an episode one time, Yusuf, that I thought I wouldn't live. I thought that something was going to burst inside of me. It hurt that bad. I'm not exaggerating. I thought that something that I had so much grief, so much hurt and pain that it would go, and then I would just bleed out, internally or something. I know that may sound kind of silly, but that's what I was experiencing.
No, it's not silly to me at all.
So I saw it, and I just had to do something. I just had to do something. Of course, you don't have to, but I had to. If God's giving me more of His heart, and then initially, like I told you earlier, one girl. All I wanted to do is one girl. I mean, one girl from little Boise, Idaho. If I could just get one girl from Boise, Idaho, from this distance on the other side of the world, I didn't have any idea how that could be done, but I just told God, I'll do anything to set one free. And so, I mean, just giving you maybe a longer answer than maybe what you want.
No, I want all of that. That's fine.
Just my feelings of just this internal, when it first popped up on my computer, sex trafficking, rewinding a little bit, that was 2008. I clicked on it. I go, what is sex trafficking? I grew up during the days where I'd heard of Americans and Westerners. They would traffic blue jeans to Russia. And you're like, what? And you hear of people, because it was cost so much money there. And so they would take and they'd sell a pair of pants for hundreds of dollars. And I knew how you could traffic drugs and traffic guns, but how do you traffic a living human? And that's how I felt. How do you traffic a living human woman? I had no grid for that, brother. Zero.
No.
And when I did, I had to do something, and I did.
No, I don't love the story, but I love your approach to it, man, because I think, generally speaking, a lot of us are like, we can't get our minds wrapped around that. How could do you think about what this person left behind? Who's back there looking for them in fear, worried, maybe even having dark thoughts because they're not there in their life right now. I mean, it's just a lot to go with it, man. But I want to kind of flesh this out, because if nothing else happens on this episode, I don't want anybody just to have the shock value. We're not here for that. If you watch the show, you know that I don't do that. What I care about is the impact it's going to make in the lives of the people who are watching and listening to this show.
Yes.
Because you got access to something where you can help. I love the folks that got the higher moral values. That's great. All the righteous folks, I love it. I love somebody who sees a problem and wants to solve it, even if they don't know how. I take that over the highly moral, righteous folks any day of the week, because that's what moves the needle in our world. I want to ask you a question about something I asked you during the pre-interview, and it's like it felt like the question kind of stopped you short. But I think it's a very good question to ask when you're doing something on the magnitude of what you're doing. How has your family reacted to your mission? Because let's be honest, it's probably not, and it probably wasn't their mission at the time. It was just yours. So as a family, they kind of go as you lead. So you're kind of dragging them along with you through the mission. How have they reacted to it then? And how are they reacting to it now? Are they fully invested? Are they more observant in their everyday circles? How are they reacting to this?
Yeah. Yusuf, it's been a lot of ups and downs. It's more up nowadays.
Good.
As you know, I'm a slow learner, I guess. But in the early days, I was on an airplane going back and forth. And then when you start getting into it, because, by the way, a very unique situation. I'm a missionary, but I actually, my residence is in Boise, Idaho. And I travel a third of my life in the Philippines. And I founded this thing. So I set it up. So I have a staff there. We have missionaries from Canada and from America there. And so I have got all this set up, but I go back and forth. So it's a very unique situation, number one. so when it's the sex trade, and we kind of laughed earlier, like whatever I do, I just get into it. I jump in with both feet. I'm not much of like put my toe in the water and just kind of
Yeah.
do it. I just like to go for it. And so when I do things, I just get enveloped with them. And so I'd come home, and I'd be talking about Wipe Every Tear, and I'd be talking about this girl and that girl and how she's in our care and she's in college right now. I mean, can you imagine going from the sex trade and now you're a college girl? Excuse me. And these girls graduate, and I'd come home and I'd tell my wife and everything, and everything was Wipe Every Tear, Wipe Every Tear, Wipe Every Tear, because I'm fully in. And one day with tears, she said, can you talk about other things?
Mm.
Can you talk about your own kids?
Oh my God! Wow.
I know. Can you talk about life in America?
Oh wow.
Yeah, right. So, my response, because I'm all in or I'm all out, I didn't say anything about Wipe Every Tear. I went weeks and I just went zip. And then one day she comes to me and she says, what's happening with the girls? What's happening with our girls? What's happening with our staff? Can you talk to me a little bit about what's happening with Wipe Every Tear? And I go,
Oh my
well, you
goodness.
said, and those who
Yeah.
are in that camp, you understand it. So then, maturity, you just learn. And so now I've just learned the balance. I have a
That's
family.
good,
My
man.
kids have a family, and I love
Yeah.
them dearly.
Yeah.
And so I go in and out of it. And then, my wife just has recently gone with me this past year. She was there twice. So that really helped. So, it has been up and down, and, you miss some things, you miss family events, family
Moments
birthdays.
and stuff.
You miss this stuff. And I'm not one of these guys that I'll just sacrifice my family for Jesus. And yet we see the Lord says, you must deny yourself. You must deny your children, your family. I get that, but I think that's taken out of context. Because I married her and I said, till death do us part.
Correct.
I'm gonna be there for her, and so she blesses me. I mean, she says, "You go, you go." I pray. And then what's made it really, really good is that we have this right here. We can, in a moment, grab your phone and go and be talking to your wife. So I can
Yeah.
communicate regularly. But anyways, I don't know if that answers your question or not.
Of
But
course it does. That was fantastic. No, I thank you for sharing it. That's really good stuff, man.
you bet,
Tell
man.
me. I know now. I understand your family's response because we got to be. And I understand the personality because somebody else had that in this conversation as well. Sometimes, so they kind of full speed ahead kind of people. So I can totally relate to that. Tell me how somebody who's listening, watching right now, how would you, in a sentence or two, describe Wipe Every Tear? What is that?
Yeah. Well, Revelation 21:4 says that there'll be that He'll wipe every tear. There'll be no more crying, no more pain, no more sorrow. And actually, the Lord told me to name it "Wipe Every Tear." It wasn't like my name. He told me it's "Wipe Every Tear." So what we do is, there's sex trafficking, right? And we think of it here in America, and you think of Las Vegas and every place else, and it's here, but it's not like it is in Southeast Asia. I mean, Southeast Asia is the hotbed of human trafficking, sex trafficking, and sex tourism. So picture a city called Angeles City. It's about an hour and a half north of Manila, where our offices are and our safe house. We have a big safe house full of girls and children. Imagine third world Vegas. The lights are flashing and girls are everywhere. They're out on the streets. They're coaxing you to come in. They've all been trafficked. They've all been tricked. They've all been tricked into coming to this city. And when they arrive to this city, they're told there are jobs there. And when they arrive, they've been given money to come from. There's 7,000 islands in the Philippines. Traffickers, recruiters go throughout the islands, and they get these girls to come. One of our girls said this. They call me Coach. Lolo coach, grandpa coach, Lolo coach. They told me that there was jobs working in a hotel, in a restaurant, and I could come to the Angeles City. So they gave me money. And she goes, it took her 3 days. It took her 3 days. She wasn't flying, boat, ferry, bus, trike, this thing called a Jeep, and a motorcycle. She lived up in the mountains. And she says, when I arrived, she goes, Coach, I had been trafficked. They tricked me. And now I was stuck. And so what we do, we go into the bars and we offer these girls, we have a little card that we give them. It says, wipe every tear and what it is, what we do. And we offer them a way out. And in the Philippines, primarily, you can't work in good jobs unless you have college education. And so our desire is to get these girls out of the bars into our safe house and to educate them. If you can educate a girl, and if she will encounter Jesus, and if she will get an education, her life is on the upswing, and her family her downline will not have to experience the sex trade or poverty. They'll be able to eat. They'll be able to go to school, and everything has changed. So, in short, that's what we do.
Yeah, no, I love that. Wow, I got so many more questions. I'm gonna go on my way to make sure that we finish this conversation today. So, if it takes extra time, we're going to definitely do that. I want to understand. So, I understand. I think what it's like for you to help them transition out of this situation. In regards to their families, and I don't want you to divulge anything you can't divulge, but in regards to their families that they've left behind, of course, they didn't plan to, but that's what happened. Where are they in the process when they're in the safe housing? How does that work? How were they reconnected with their families while in this situation, or are they? Kind of explain it if you can.
Yeah, they are. And we're very different, by the way. I'm just my wife says I'm the most eccentric person she's ever seen in her life. And you know what? I really march to the beat of a different drummer. And so to rewind just a little bit, give you some context. We give our girls a daily allowance. And we've had people tell us, don't give them any money. Don't give. But if it was my daughter and if she was taken out of this bar and now she's living in a safe house with these people who love her and honor her and cherish her and are helping her with her longevity for her whole life, I would hope they would treat them like their own. And that's what we do. So we give our girls an allowance. So that allows her to buy snacks and makeup, lipstick, like we care about the girl. It's just a little bit. It's not a lot. But the girls save up their money. And then some spend a little bit and they save up more of it, and then they send it home every month. And so to answer your question, they have contact with their families regularly. We don't limit that. And so they, text, with their phones and whatnot, get on Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp or whatnot. And then they can save up their money to get transportation to go back at Christmas time. And so often our girls will go back at Christmas for a week or two and be with their families. Their families, however, have no idea that they were doing what they were doing. And we always keep that secret.
Okay. I think I understand, and I want to dig a little deeper, but again, because you understand what I don't, put a hard stop from going to places that I don't need to be going into. But I have a question that maybe our viewers and listeners have too. Why aren't they going back from whence they came, so to speak?
Why are they not going back to their homes?
Yeah, right. From where they came from initially.
Well, they will. They could eventually, but a couple of reasons. They're with us going to school. So we enroll them in school. Some have to finish their elementary, some have to finish their high school, and then about half of them come to us with a high school diploma. The other half, 50%, they have to get all that. So it's a long haul. We have one girl that's been with us going on 9 years now.
Oh wow!
She had to finish her elementary, she had to go to high school, and now she's in college. And she's worth it. We always say this. We have a T-shirt. she's worth it. She's worth every nickel we put into her to set her free from the sex trade. She has a horrendous, terrible story.
Wow.
The girls end up having relations with their families, and
Okay.
and then also they end up only a few end up going back to what they call the province or the countryside, into the islands. There's just no jobs. You know, it's around the world. People are migrating to the big metro areas to work and then support their families.
That makes sense. That's it's beautiful what you're doing, man.
Thank
you.
You
Helped me out with my understanding of it, because I didn't get all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Tell me in short, if you can, what does transmission for them look like? I mean, I'm sure you have success stories, maybe people who quote unquote aged out and they're at a place where they are independently living again.
Yes.
What does transmission look like that you've seen since you started this journey? If you can describe it in a picture.
Them going from us out.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, sir. Correct.
So the transition that they take, number one is that we start it when they're with us. You know, a lot of these girls are very undisciplined. You know, they're coming from deep in the province and living in sometimes little huts, oftentimes, or in the slums, you know, in the little cities and whatnot. And so we have to teach them everything, you know, how to wash dishes, that you brush your teeth.
Oh, wow.
That there's a thing called a toothbrush. There's a thing called dental floss. There's, you know, all that stuff. And then we teach them how to budget their money. And so we always say body, mind, soul, spirit, everything gets renewed and transformed into a great, we always say hope, freedom, future, you know. And so when they're with us, we're always, you know, we have a home-like setting, you know, it's a big house. It's one big house. It's a really beautiful house. And they live in bedrooms. We don't cram them in there. You know, they're not living like, you know, 5 high and, you know, laying on the floor. Sure. We give them a nice bedroom. They got a dresser, and we get them ready. You know, so if they're coming into us with a high school degree, that means they have 4 years with us. So we do that while they're with us. And then at the end, we transition them out and we give them a few months and we help them. We have a gal named Ishani, who's her and her husband, Peter, are from Canada, and they work with that. They will help to transition our girls out to get them from that college graduate. Now what? You know, resume writing, interview skills, etc. If Ishani sees this, Ishani, thank you, girl. Appreciate it. And so that's what we do. And we get her out, and then we have to release her. It's like the little bird that gets hatched out of an egg. The mom's one day's got to push it out of the nest, sometimes literally, so that the thing flies and then it begins its new life.
Wow.
That's us.
I love this. I love this process, because people might focus on the fact that the person was trafficked, and that's kind of where they start thinking about where they need to be restored and healed. But they got to that place because of some reasons.
Absolutely.
They got to that place because some choices were made, or there was a lack of options, and they thought that, you know what, that this would be a help. So there was already a pre-existing condition, if you will. So you guys having spending that time with them and going and elongating it and having extensive time, not only with the education but the social and life skills. That's good, man. That's good. Let's keep moving, man. I can't get stuck there. Let's keep moving. All right. So
hey, can I add this?
Of course you can.
We teach them to start interacting with people. You know what? You know how these girls come here? I'm just giving you a quick picture. I'll be her, and you're me. And when you're introduced to them, they look like this. They hi, hello, and they can't look at you. You know, and some can't be touched. You know, but they come from this to when people walk into the room, they go, hello. We teach them to go approach that person, shake your hand, look them in the eye. How are you? Oh, welcome to Wipe Every Tear, which, by the way, we do mission trips, brother. Our Filipino staff cannot get into the bars to rescue these girls without foreigners. And you go like, what? These bars do not allow Filipino citizens to go in. Filipino bars say no to Filipinos. So if you're
Why is
interested in
that? Why is that?
because they see Filipinos as trash, and
What?
they cater only to foreigners in these bars. Imagine 240 bars, 12,000 girls, and there's people there at the front. And if a Filipino goes in, they say, "Sorry, you can't come in." You remember the days back in America when they wouldn't allow a black person to go into
Now, Kenny, you know that's
restaurants.
different. That's different, Kenny. You know it.
I'm telling you, it's exactly. I know. Can you believe it? It's happened today. Today in 2025. Are you kidding me?
No, I can't believe it.
So we need people, and we do mission trips all throughout the year, and we need churches, we need businesses, we need whatever. Like, you want to come, and then you're part of that process. You get to go to our safe house, be with our girls, and then we go to the city and we spend nights there. We throw a banquet for these girls. That's how we get them. And then we do this thing called a getaway, where we take them away to a beach vacation. They get to see that. Wow, do you mean this is real? Because the bar owners say that we're the bad guys. We're the traffickers. Don't trust Wipe Every Tear. They're going to harvest your organs. They're organ harvesters. So we have to, and then, by the way, we feed over 5,000 meals a month directly into the bars. We feed the girls. So we say, people, come and help us, because when you come, you allow us to get into the bars, and we do. It's really a great thing. It's really wonderful.
No, I think it is, man. I think it is. But the kind of, I know we're almost running out of time.
So I know. Where's the time going?
I know it went really good, but thank you for sharing this, man. This transparency is so good, man. So I'll do my best here. I'm kind of overwhelmed. I'm like, so much stuff going on in my head. I got 3 daughters and I got 2 granddaughters, so I'm feeling a lot of different emotions. But when I think about it, like what you are doing, sometimes I think about the commercials that we see. We don't see I see more commercials about dogs than I do about human trafficking. But that's media for you. But I see those commercials and I hear about the actors who are donating their time to victims of sex trafficking or the cause of. How many people of influence are actually helping you, and how do they help you, if they help you?
Yeah, well, Jesus says in the Gospels that the harvest is plentiful. I mean, the harvest is there. I mean, the grain is ready. The apple trees are ready to be picked. The whatever. The harvest is plentiful, but the workers are few. And we experience that we need more people to help, and not only help physically, like come and be missionaries, in this city, and love these girls and feed them and see them transformed. But we need people to give. I'll just be straightforward. It takes us $50,000 a month to do what we do. And so we love it when people say, "Can I partner with you financially? Can I pray for you?" So they'll go to our Instagram at Wipe Every Tear. They'll go to Facebook at Wipe Every Tear, or they'll go to our website, wipeeverytear.org, and they just get involved. And so there's all sorts of ways to get involved directly. You could be a missionary. You could go, you and your family, or you by yourself, and you can go help us rescue her because she's worth it. Or you can give, and to help us feed her and educate her and set her free. And you know what? I always give my phone number out, 208-866-1967. You can call me and say, "Kenny, I heard you, and I want to do something. I've got to do something." Yeah. And we'd love that. We welcome that.
I love this, man. I love this. Do you have any success stories?
Oh, man.
That you can share about the young people who've come through this incredible ordeal and have found peace and self-esteem? Can you share some of that stuff?
Yeah.
I'm putting your number in the comments.
We've had over 80 girls graduate from college, and we've had many others who didn't quite finish the college thing. They got vocational school, or they went to college for 2 years or 3 years, and then they got married or whatever, and they lived happily ever after. But so we have a ton of stories. I mean, there's one story after another. let me do. There's some. I'll pick one out because because I woke up this morning and she messaged me.
Yeah, that's fine.
And by the way, we still have a relationship with them. And I had sent her a message. I had seen she posted something. I said, "Hey, dear girl, thinking about you and your husband." So we found her in a bar. Let's call her name Janice. We found Janice in a bar. She saw what we offered. She came out. She got to college. She graduated with honors. She's really bright. She's really smart. Just a cute gal. I mean, and she encountered Jesus. And so after she graduates, she went on to graduate school. She found an Australian sponsor who took care of all of her education. And she graduated from seminary, and now she is a pastor on staff in a Filipino church. We found her in a bar. By the way, invited me to her wedding 2 years ago. And on the microphone at the reception, she looks at me, looks down.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
She was the waterworks.
Lolo Coach, thank you. Thank you for coming to find me.
Oh, man.
Guys,
man.
I know, man. That's just one representation.
You about to bust me open on my own show, man.
There are stories. We have one story after another, and we have God is a powerful God. And I know that some people believe God heals, God doesn't heal. Well, I read the scripture, it says he heals. We have a girl that was healed of HIV AIDS. She had been positive for AIDS, and we prayed for her. We believe in all the stuff. We prayed for her. We weren't crazy. We prayed for her. She was healed. She goes into the doctor, and the doctor says, I don't know. You were positive twice. The HIV is gone. It's gone. And so, we pour into these girls, and I truly do. I told God, I want to treat them like I do my daughters in the context of living in the third world, And so we treat them well. We love them. I hold them. Some see me as a Lolo, as a grandpa, some as a father, many don't have fathers. Most don't have fathers. And we just love them. And so again, anybody listening, you want to be a part of this, you give me a call or go onto our website and send us a message. You'll hear back from us. We'd love you to help.
I'm definitely going to have Kenny his information to the comment section on the YouTube channel right under the episode that's going live. So you can contact him, donate if you want to help, maybe missions work, whatever you want to do. We're going to make sure that happens. This is like incredible. I don't have no time for a lot more questions, but I'm thinking about something you said, where you shared in our community about Jesus walking into a brothel. And I'm like, it just hits me because like the power, this is for folks that claim to know who he is, to be one of his own. This is who I'm to today. If you don't ascribe to the Bible, Jesus, you can plug it in. You don't have to hear it. Just want to hear it. But he walks to a place. His life. It's not a negotiation. Darkness has to move. It's like when you walk into your dark house, coming home from a hard day's work, you turn the lights on, darkness moves immediately. And it just amazes me that we walk around and we watch this stuff happen around us, and we carry that kind of life, but it doesn't behoove us to eat and pray. Some folks can't go on missions. They don't have the money to donate.
Yeah.
But we don't even worth our time. I want to ask you one more question. Well, two more questions, really, and then we can go ahead and get you out of here. But what, after seeing all this stuff you've seen on this incredible journey, that you've seen?
You know what? You're cutting out. I couldn't hear your question.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know why that happened. I got a good signal right now.
Been for the past minute or two. It's been going. Your voice is going in and out.
Yeah, my signal's really.
Yeah, it's going. Brrr, brrr.
I hate that. I hate that. In the journey experience, what about the human condition?
Again, I can't hear you. It's something's going on. In fact, I was praying because you were getting down to the nitty gritty here, and I was praying in the name of Jesus. I see this all the time with us. We do have enemies, and they hate what we're doing. And I was praying in the name of Jesus for this thing, this glitch, this technical glitch to stop by the power of God.
You okay?
No,
No?
it's that alien voice, you know, it's
Oh,
distorted.
no. Okay.
I mean, right there, I can hear you say, "Oh no, okay, just fine." Then you keep talking, then you start talking, and then it gets all bad.
Yeah, I don't know how to end this show like this.
I heard that.
Well, I'll just last question. Remember the question we talked about in our pre-interview? I'll see the question.
Yeah, you're blocking out a bit, but you said like I think it was something like if you could do something that you hadn't done or whatever, or what you wish you could do, right? So you know what? I thought about that, and you know what? I thought this. I wouldn't. There's nothing. I'm really being fulfilled with my family. I mean, I have 6 kids, and I got 18 grandchildren. And I've been around the world to do some significant things, not boasting about me, all glory and honor to God. But then I thought, well, what about this thing or this thing? Well, you know, Revelation 21 also talks about a new heaven and new earth. And it says, and God is going to dwell with them. So if we believe in a new heaven and earth, I'll have a lot of time on the other side of the veil in that new heaven and new earth. And so there are a lot of things like I would like to do. Fill in the blank. I'm an adventurer. Fill in whatever adventure thing you want to do, outdoor adventure type stuff, right? And I'm to the point now, I'm going, believing what Paul says, that this life is just but a steam of vapor. It's just a vapor. It's here now and it's gone in a moment. I'm starting to assimilate that more and more in my life and go, you know what, this is a short life. So I'm going to live it really hard for the kingdom here. And I'll still do I still do stuff. But in the new heaven and new earth, I'm going to go for it. That's all I can say. Thank you, man.
It's okay.
I couldn't hear you there, but you know what? Thank you for listening. Anybody wants to help, just give me a call. We'd love to have you partner with us. God bless you, Yusuf, and all of you who are listening in the name of Jesus.